Have you ever joined a TF2 server and realized no one was there, but you still felt like you weren't alone? Now, that's a very dramatic representation of the situation that's usually more like this. However, the feeling of being alone in a TF2 server is, to me at least, terrifying. This terror is found exemplified in maps like 2Fort. I first started playing TF2 in 2017, back when servers were bot-free and the game was only 10 years old. I remember playing Scout terribly. Some things don't change. And dying horribly. Some things don't change. And my computer was awful. So CTF was the only mode I could really run. Sawmill would make it explode. But playing the game and hearing the explosions and screams and chaos was crazy. The only issue on 2Fort was the hallway down to the intel room. The intel room has always been odd to me. A winding hallway leading to the intelligence, much like other maps. However, here it feels so empty. Especially when your engineer isn't there, leaving you in the intelligence and the ambiance. The clicks and beeping, the technological feel of it all is so off-putting to me. Then there's this random room that I don't really understand. Sure, it's a healing room, maybe for engineers to get some metal, but I never really use it, nor do I see many others. It's just there, and I would be lying if I said it wasn't a little ominous. But at the very least, you have the screams and echoes of your teammates to oddly comfort you. But as the server goes on, and you realize it's slowly turning into friendly and no one's capping, and the game ends finally. The voting system is of course bugged, so you're forced into the same game of 2Fort, but no one returned. You spawn in the locker room alone. You glance around the map, you contemplate leaving, but you decide to stay. And so you do. You look around. You can go freely into the blue base and peer into the sniper perch, into their sewer and down the stairwell, and into their intelligence. With no screams or explosions, you go down. Just you and the ambiance. And it's completely empty. It's a scary, eerie feeling just being alone in TF2. And a good explanation for this is the engine TF2 is made on. Source Engine. Source Engine is the engine that all Valve games use. Think Half-Life 2, Portal 2, and of course Team Fortress 2. Did I miss a 2? I'll let the beginner's guide explain how this affects games made with the engine.
To make all of these games, Coda is using an engine called Source. Like all engines, Source has certain things that it does well, and it has certain things that it does poorly. One of the things that it does very well is boxy linear corridors. That's why so many of Coda's games are set in these large, flat, empty rooms, is just because he's working with what the engine does well.
A great example of Source Engine's eerie feeling is GM Construct from Gmod. Now, I'm sure you've seen tons of GM Construct, if not through playing it yourself and experiencing the horrifying darkroom, then by the tons of Gmod horror videos on YouTube. This feeling is spread throughout all of Valve's games, through the environments of Half-Life, through the rat dens in Portal 2, and through the emptiness of TF2. A map with no players on it has this foreboding feeling. The idea that when you turn a corner, you'll learn that you're not alone. The idea there might be something there to greet you. The ambiance of the game does a lot to add to this feeling. In the intelligence room of 2Fort, you are surrounded by the clicking and beeping of technology, which is in sharp contrast to the environment around you being empty. Along with all these chairs and tables and break rooms, it gives this feeling of it being abandoned. What exactly happened on 2Fort for all of these chairs and office-like structure to suddenly just be left empty? The environment poses questions like this, and it's just odd. The same feeling can be found with maps like Sawmill, which has the image of Scout being tortured forever engraved in my memory with this map, so it's already scary. Thanks. But while 2Fort and Sawmill are open and visible, there's another map that can be oddly terrifying. Turbine is weird. A CTF map that's completely enclosed, resulting in a chaotic match with these vents and such. I personally like it. Is it well designed? Probably not. That's it, I don't have a defense for this map. But when it's empty, man, do you feel it? Going from side to side and feeling the dread of the game. To see more of the horror, I would highly recommend this video by BM78G. That is an abandoned turbine exploration in an analog horror type video. The channel and video will be in the description. Please give it a look. The horror of TF2 is a concept I hope I can further explore in future videos. But for now, I'm going to leave it here. Please consider subscribing, and I will see you in the next episode, which I'm sure you're going to enjoy.